In this video we're going to look at creating a button. We're not going to look at the actual linking of clicking on a button and going to a new scene. If you want to see that, that is in a different video clip which you can find at the YouTube channel. For this one we're just going to look at actually creating a button and the different effects that a button has in Flash. Now for my button I'm just going to quickly draw one up, so I'm going to select my rectangle primitive tool, draw a rectangle on the stage. I'm going to give it some fill, so we'll just make it black, and I'm going to give it some rounded edges. I actually also want this to be a gradient, so if you don't know how to do that, we're just going to go to Window, Color. Up here where it says Type, it's solid. I'm going to choose either a linear or a radial gradient. I think I'm going to go with linear. And I'm just going to quickly choose the colors that I want for my gradient. Okay, I'm going to add some text to my button, and it's going to be white. And I have the drawing now for what my button will look like. Now I need to convert this to a symbol before I can do any actual effects to it, so I'm going to highlight the whole thing, press F8, which is my shortcut, and I'm going to call it homepage for my homepage. I'm going to make sure the type I have selected is a button, and I'm going to press OK. Now I'll see that I have a button over here in my properties panel, and if I look in my library I'll also notice that I have many different instances that I could drag out. Now to actually create the effects for our button, all we simply need to do is double click to go inside. When I double click, I know that I'm inside my button two ways. The first is up in the top left hand corner, it'll tell me that I'm in scene 1 homepage button. Now if I click back on scene 1, it will take me back to my main page. If I double click to go back inside, you'll notice once again Scene 1 home page. Now no matter when you're working in Flash, it's always important to ensure you know where it is you're actually located, so you don't do the incorrect work in the wrong spot. The other way I know that I'm inside my button is down in my timeline area. I no longer have the timeline that we're used to, which is frame by frame. I now have a timeline which tells me up, over, down and hit. Now these four options are very simple to understand. The up button pretty much means whenever the mouse is not over the button, what will it look like? So at the moment, this is what our button will look like whenever it's just sitting on the page with nothing touching it. The over button will mean what happens when the mouse simply rolls over our image. So no clicking or anything, just when it touches it. The down is what happens when we actually click down on our button. And the hit means the hit space. So that means the clickable area. So I could actually enlarge this space around the button to enable Flash to realize that I don't have to actually touch just this picture. I could touch any part of the hit space to activate the button. So we'll have a look at each one of those. So to actually insert anything in here, I just need to go to the one that I want. So I'm going to go to Over, I'm going to right click and insert keyframe. Now what I want to do is I want to check that when I roll my mouse over, I'm going to change the color of my text. So I'm going to double click where it says home, I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to change the color to, we'll go this color over here. So it's a ugly looking color in the middle there, and that's for my over. So if I go back to scene 1, you'll notice that the color goes back to white. That's because that's our default. When I publish this, so when I hit Control Enter, and I roll my mouse over, you will notice that the home changes color. So that is our over effect. I'm going to go back inside, and this time I'm going to go for down. I'm going to right click again, insert keyframe. This time I'm going to change the color of the actual rectangle. So I'm going to select my rectangle, I'm going to increase the stroke, I'm going to make it look very obvious that there's changes. So increase the stroke, change the color of the fill. Back to scene 1, Control Enter. When I roll over, the color changes. When I click, we get the brand new change. So when I click down, we get the change. And the final one is the hit. When I right click, insert keyframe, I'm going to increase the hit space. So what that means is I'm going to draw a new symbol in here, which will mean that if I touch any of this, it will activate the changes that I've set up for the over and the down. So when I go back to scene 1 now, and I control enter, you'll notice that as soon as I get to the hit space, which is now around about there, we get our first change, which is the home changing color. If I click anywhere around the hit space, we get our other change, which is the color and the stroke. So this is the way that you make button effects in Flash. If all you want to do is link, remember you can use a movie clip. With ActionScript, it won't matter if it's a button or a movie clip, and you can even do effects like this with movie clips. So it's a little bit different if you're going to use a movie clip, but if you want to use a button still, they're actually a bit of a dying breed in Flash.